My top 10 free band exercises that I recommend you get going with when you start out using bands in large groups. Let me take you through all 10 of them and let me walk you through a little bit how to incorporate them. The reason I like these top 10 is because there's no ground impact. All of them can be done in a stationary fashion, therefore there's a little less movement going on so they can focus in on the exercises. They're going to feel these exercises, therefore they're going to get excited because they're going to be amazed at how tired a simple band gets them going. The chances of you overtaxing your bands is very minimal because you're not going to incorporate a lot of movement. And likelihood of your clients having great success with these exercises is almost guaranteed. So let me go ahead and let's get started. First exercise I like to start out with, and I always teach people, is just stand on the band loose, reach down and just make it a little bit loose. Don't get it real tight. Let them go ahead and start with red bands. They can go ahead and do this. As long as their feet aren't moving, they're going to go ahead and start. Overhead push press. Lock it in, press it up, make sure they get the lockout. A lot of people get out here, or if you have a lot of weight trainers, they'll push to there and then they'll come back down. We need the lockout. I make them hold this for a 2 count and then I bring it back down. From there, it's easy to go right into high pulls. I like high pulls. Now a lot of people will say, well, no, bad on the shoulders to do high pulls. Well, yes they are if you do them the traditional way, which is elbow lead coming up. I like to go ahead and pull apart. So what I'm going to do is as I come up, I'm going to pull the band apart, which is going to really engage my shoulder blades to create a better proximal stability, which in turn is going to make it a lot easier on my shoulders. So high pulls are one of my fan favorites. We're going from there, we're going up to front squats. Front squats, the key to this exercise, just make sure you place the band on top of their shoulders. Let them crisscross their arms. If they want to hold it like it's a bar, that's fine, but I recommend crisscross because then they can concentrate on keeping their elbows up and making sure they don't go ahead and lose their posture. From there, we'll go ahead and we'll get the band off their feet and we'll go to push presses. Now, for most people, this exercise will be not as challenging at the start, but where it will be more challenging is at the front. So as a result of that, I'm trying to work on stability. So I'm going to go ahead, I might put a little squat with it, a split squat with it, but most importantly, I want them holding at the front, all right? If they want, they can go ahead and slide their hands through the band, hook it through their index finger and their thumb, which will immediately shorten up the band, and now they're going to get range of motion and resistance almost through the entire full range of motion. From there, I like to drop down and go right into lawnmower pulls. Again, I'm going to hook my hands through the bands so the pressure's on my wrist and I'm doing lawnmower pulls. I like this exercise because most people struggle bending over because they can't do that effectively without hurting their low back. Up here, we're in a standing position. I can get nice and tall and I'm just going to work lawnmower pulls. You can also quickly switch it to a one-arm exercise and do one-arm lawnmower pulls if you so choose. But I like just starting out with bilateral stuff when I first start going with a group. We're going to go ahead and step back on the band now, and we're going to go hammer curls. Thumbs underneath, fingers over top, simple hammer curls. Get those knuckles to the ceiling. So as they curl up, knuckles are coming up to the ceiling, elbows in. Bang. Right there. Get the bang, get the hammer curl going. From there, we're going to go tricep presses. Now, teaching the tricep press, have them step on the band. Take their opposite foot and get it way away from them. Now, all you got to do is grab the band. Most people like to grab it like it's a single band. I like to make it into 2. Grab it like it's 2 separate bands, pop it over your head, and now you got overhead tricep presses. One of my ultimate favorite exercises to go ahead and do. Let's go back down to lower body. Split squats. Now most people can go ahead and do split squats. So what I'll do is position them. Once again, I've taught them the rack position. Most people can do that. If they want to keep their hands up here like so, that's fine. If they want to crisscross them, that's okay. The split squat, dig the front heel in, dig the back toe in. Drop straight down and knock out split squats. When you transition, very important, teach this. Step into the band first, step out of the band then. Now they're ready to go ahead and go to the other side. That little transition will make a big difference in making sure you have great success in your boot camp. Last two might be your first two. We're going to go lateral walks. Now a lot of people struggle with tearing up bands doing this exercise. First of all, you got to have the band light on your feet. I like to go ahead and pull it up. I like to give it a little turn. Now this is a beginner-based exercise. I'll show you the double way to do it in just a second. The key is to make sure they're pushing with the outside of their foot while they're picking it up. Feet are always picking up. This exercise, I have yet to tear a band in 10 years of training. However, most people struggle with this exercise because as their hips get weak, they start grinding the band through the surface of the floor, and that tears it up. You've got to slow people down, make sure their feet are being picked up, and make sure they are doing the exercise correctly. No shoulder movement, just simple hip movements while they're going through it. From there, we're going to finish up with resisted pillars. Obviously, if a person cannot do a regular pillar, they're not going to do a resisted pillar. But for some people that have really gotten strong through the trunk, they're really going to like this exercise. Get the band right on their lumbar spine, preferably as close to the lumbosacral junction as possible. Get the hands right underneath their shoulders, lock out and hold, and just stabilize right there. It's a great added exercise to get the trunk in. When they rest, they put one knee down, and then they come right back into it. I love working those two drills, and here's what I'll sometimes do. Instead of doing a single band lateral walk, I'll do pillar, and then I'll just leave it right there, drop straight down, step on it, pull it, and we're ready to go lateral walks using a double band. Now I'm doubling it up. It's going to be a lot tougher. Feet can't get together. You got to push it apart. Make sure you're pushing out with the outside of your foot against the band while you pick your feet up. When that circuit is done, you just step out. It goes right to your low back. You're right back into your pillar. It's a great combination exercise to get people working on their core. 10 exercises, single band. Go ahead, implement them just as I showed you in the blog, and let's see how you do.